been kind of roughly on a lot of people's radars these days, but a card that has always been on mine, even though my banlist predictions have not implicated such thing. And that is Terraforming. So Terraforming is a card that basically searches one of the most powerful aspects of the game, which are field spells, I believe. Now, again, I want to preface by saying this: not all field spells are created equal. You can't really compare Chicken Game with Yami. That's not really fair. However, what you can compare it to is a card like Necro Valley, who recently got eroded, which is absurd, or Union Hanger, and the card, and you understand, or you begin to understand how indicative it is to search out your field spells. And there's plenty of stats to prove how dangerous or how good field spells are, especially with Terraforming in the meta as it is. So let's bring this into consideration. So assuming that you're not playing like Potted Desires and stuff in the ABC, so you're playing 3 Union Hanger and then you're playing 3 Terraforming, and let's lightly assume that you're playing Upstart just because. So Upstart at 1. Upstart at 1. No, not 3 Upstart. That's a little too insane. So you're basically in upwards at 67% without Potted Desires. In ABC to search out Union Hanger, because you got the 3 Union Hanger, you got the 3 Terraforming, which are essentially Union Hanger because it gets Union Hanger, and you have Upstart, which could potentially draw you into a Union Hanger as like a 6th card. And that's absolutely crazy. In other decks, it's even a lot higher. In PSY-Frames, for example, where you have multiple outlets to search it, you have like your 3 potted dualities, you have your 3 alphas, 3 overloads, 3 Terraforming Upstart. It's like upwards to like 83 to 90%, which is absolutely insane. Opening your field spell has never been easier because of Terraforming. And back when this card was first released, I think this card was released around GX era, if not really early on in the game. The field spells weren't necessarily broken. I think the most broken field spell was actually Necro Valley at the time, and Necro Valley wasn't even that prominent. Sure, you played it in Gravekeepers and stuff like that, but it wasn't really seen as a counterintuitive card. It wasn't considered a floodgate. It wasn't considered a broken anti-meta card, as it is today. And I might talk about Necro Valley on its own, because Necro Valley did recently get its errata, and it's actually really, really good. And it might actually deserve its own video, but I still believe that Terraforming should go to 1. Not because it's not comparable to Rhoda anymore. It's not comparable to Emergency Call anymore. It's more comparable to a card like Upstart. And an Upstart, the reason why it was at 1, because you're playing, it is at 1 right now, is because you're playing 37 cards in your deck. Now, you're playing a lot less if you're playing like Potted Desires and stuff like that. That definitely needs to be said. However, when you draw Upstart into Upstart, you could just play the Upstart and you can thin out your deck even more. You're not really worried about it. People would sometimes, back in the old days, would play Toon Table of Contents because it would thin out your deck. People would play 3 copies of Toon Table of Contents, play like, I don't know, a random Toon monster, search it out, and then you'd basically be playing 36 cards. That's not very viable today because the deck building is so contrived, or so strained. You can't really mix things into it. Like, you really can't, like, no room for improvement, no room for, like, the creativity aspect of certain things sometimes, because I think like the lists are very they can have some innovation to it, but I don't think the innovations that people will make will be very good. But that's a tangent for another day. However, Terraforming is very comparable to Upstart, because you are playing 3 blank cards. You are playing 6 Union Hangers, essentially, because you're going to search it out anyway, and you're playing at upwards of 37 to 36 if you're playing Upstart cards in your deck. And not to mention, sometimes the cards are even better than just losing the Terraforming. And I don't really consider losing Terraforming a minus. I really think that gaining the gaining the blank card in your deck is much more of an advantage than it is a minus. Plus, it kind of can lead itself to be even greater than that. Like, for example, again, ABCs, it can be a +2. In Performation Pals, it's a +2. And in Chicken Game, it's a +2 upwards, and upwards of that, you can plus more often. Then there's also the fact that it could probably search out one of the more powerful field spells like Domain of the Monarchs, Necro Valley, Secret Village of Spellcasters, Zombie World loosely, mainly because those cards stop your opponent from playing the game, or they can. Necro Valley can certainly do it now. Secret Village of Spellcasters can do it, and Domain of the Monarchs can do it, and Zombie World did it at one point probably. I still believe that, or I believe, because based on that, I believe that it should be at 1, based on how much of a powerhouse the card can be and how much how broken the card actually is, for a simple effect. Obviously, like if this was like 2002 or something like that, like if this was like a few years ago where field spells weren't really relevant, let's say like around 2012, I would probably be like, terraforming is fine. But I think now, as Konami continues to release more field spells, terraforming is only going to be a big problem, and I think that it should go either to 1. It might even be ban worthy if it becomes that big of an issue. But I don't want to go that far. I don't want to be that kind of a person to just say, hey, this card should get banned. Well, it's not ban worthy. It's a good effect. It's definitely good, but it's not obscenely broken. It's not Monster Reborn or something like that. It's not on that power level. Not yet, at least. So anyway, guys, tell me what you guys think about this card in the comment section down below. Tell me what you think about terraforming. If you think terraforming should be at 1, tell me if you think terraforming should be at 2. Tell me if or banned. Tell me if you think terraforming is fine. Open forum. This is a discussion. Feel free to tell me what this is all about. This has been Team Anima Post, and I will be signing out. See you guys in the next video tomorrow. Later.